Can I ask you a question? What do you smell like? Have you ever walked into a room and you notice the smell? You don't know where it came from, but you do notice the smell. Now, let me ask you something else. When you walk into a room, spiritually, what do you smell like? Now, stay with me because I have scripture. Okay, so in 2 Corinthians, the second chapter and the 15th verse, it says, our lives are a Christ-like fragrance rising up to God. But this fragrance is perceived differently by those who are being saved and by those who are perishing. So it doesn't say that we carry the fragrance. It says here that our lives and that we are the fragrance of God. Every believer gives off a spiritual aroma. So it's not if you smell, it's what do you smell like? What are you releasing? What are you leaving when you leave the room? Hey family, before this video goes any further, I would like to invite you to subscribe so that way you will stay up to date on everything that the Lord gives me. The smell lingers long after we leave the room. That's our attitudes, that's our spirit, our personalities. Some of us can come off so strong. When we think about it, if our attitude is nasty, then when we leave the room, that's what we're leaving. People are not experiencing Jesus. They're experiencing nastiness. And we don't want people to say that we say that we love Christ, but we're acting just like the world. When I leave a conversation, when you leave a conversation, do people feel encouraged or do they feel drained? When we leave, do they feel peace or do they feel tension? Do they feel closer to God or do they feel much further away? Now, sometimes you may say, but I didn't say anything wrong. Sometimes it's not what we say. It's simply what we emit, what we give off. See, the fragrance comes from what you abide in, what you choose to spend time and energy in and with. We don't produce fragrance on our own. So when we sit with things long enough, we start to give off that fragrance. If you sit in negativity too long, if you sit with them negative folks far too long, that is what you will be giving off and you may not even notice it. But if you sit in the presence of God, I am a witness. It doesn't say anything about us being perfect, but it does talk about us trying. So if we sit with him, then that will become our fragrance. If we get close to Jesus, you and I, then his fragrance become ours. It reminds me of like when you're dating someone, like ladies, when you're dating a gentleman. And, you know, sometimes you want to sit close to that gentleman because he has a nice smell. And if you sit close enough, you're at the movies or, you know, having dinner, that smell may rub off on you. Same concept. Psalm 34:8 says, oh, taste and see that the Lord, he is good. How can we taste him? How can we smell like him if we're never near him? Crushing, it produces the strongest aromas. It produces the strongest fragrances. In Ephesians 5:2, Jesus was broken so that a sweet aroma could rise to God. So when life presses you and I, because it will, you live long enough and it will press you. When them trials come and they squeeze you to the point where you feel like you can't take anymore, what's going to come out? Will it be praise or will it be complaints? Will it be trust or will it be bitterness? Will it be faith or fear? So if you're living for Jesus and people don't like you, they act like they don't want to talk to you, they don't want to be around you, you have to remember some things that Jesus was hated. In the word, he tells us that people won't like us, that we'll be hated just for his name's sake. But it doesn't mean that we're doing anything wrong. We must stay on the right track, stay on the battlefield. Because when we think about it, when we think about Jesus and about the light that lives inside of us, light, it exposes darkness. People don't like the truth because it confronts. People don't like your fragrance. It's noticeable. But he didn't call us to be liked by everybody. He only called us to stay faithful. So let me ask you again. This will be the last time. What do you smell like? If someone followed you home for a day, what would they see? If they followed your conversations, what would they hear? If they got on social media with you, what would they find? How would they hear you talking to people and responding to people? And if you said no, they wouldn't always see Jesus, that's all right, because there is grace. His grace is there for us all. He's not calling us to be perfect, but he's calling us to trust him. He's calling us to love him. He's calling us to want to do what's right. And that's the best place to be, is close and in the will of Jesus Christ. The closer that we draw to him, the more that we will start smelling like our Father. And I don't know about you, but I want to smell like him. I want to talk like him. I want to love like him. I need his help to love like him, because I cannot do it on my own. Pray that you got something from this word, because I know that I was truly blessed. And I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.